Well, that was a lot of fun in many ways, being editor of the Annals. I recommend it to anyone who wants to lose friends quickly.
I remember I was at the birthday lunch for Walter Neumann, whose birthday is very memorable. It's on the 1st of January. And at noon, you looked at your watch and you said, "Ha! I've just stopped being an editor of Annals." And you could see the relief flooding your face.
I think you once described it as, if you accept the paper, they say, well, of course, because it's the greatest paper there is, right?
Yeah.
If you reject it, how can they reject it if it's the greatest paper on earth? But maybe you want to say a bit more about your experiences, because you were editor for quite a long time.
Yeah. It's January 1st, 1982.
1982 I stopped.
So there's sometimes been controversies between the editors, right, over the years.
Oh yeah. Well, I missed some of the best ones. When I
Right,
was
some
editor,
of them preceded you.
it was pretty tranquil. But the earlier days, there were some tremendous fights.
And resignations, even as a result.
Yeah, there's a famous story about the days when editors were Andre Vey, Don Spencer, and Norman Steenrod. And there was a paper that Steenrod wanted to accept and Vey wanted to reject, and they couldn't agree. And so Spencer tried to bring them together. Now he said, well, let's go out for lunch and settle this. Now there were two alternatives for lunch. The best restaurant in town was Laier's, and Vey wanted to go to that. And the worst, the grungiest restaurant in town was the Balt, which many awful descriptions of it, which was also very cheap and economical, and where Steenrod wanted to go. And they couldn't agree on where to go, so they couldn't go to lunch, and they both resigned. And I think then Milner and Burrell became editors after that.
But in your time, it was pretty peaceful.
It was pretty peaceful. It worked pretty well. It was interesting. It was a lot of work, and we did lose friends.
Lose friends simply because people took rejections personally?
Exactly. But it was always difficult to reject a paper of somebody you knew. And But I have more regrets about papers I accepted than papers I rejected.
I remember once being in Bill's office, and he was looking at some paper that needed repeated revisioning by, I won't say by whom it was, after it had been accepted. And there it was, and Bill was trying to work his way through this, and he looked up and he said, "You think you could reject the paper after it's in galleys?"